And they say, this is the show. This is the Wrestling Fans Podcast, hosted by Bangum South, Jason Fast Cave, and the best in the world today. Do you understand what I'm telling you? It's the man, Trent Williams. We got another great show for you. We, of course, have to recap everything that happened in NXT TakeOver The End, a fantastic WWE Network special. And we're going to recap Monday Night Raw. Plus, we have to talk about the craziness surrounding the UFC and Brock Lesnar. As always, you can hit us up on Twitter at MTW3589, at Bangum South, and at our official Twitter page for the show at TWF_podcast. You can also hit us up on Facebook at Facebook.com TWF Podcast. As always, feel free to use the hashtags. Hashtag TWF, hashtag Danielle Brooke, hashtag Flim Cornette. But with that said, let's get into the show.
Okay, well, let's get into the show, man. What was I going to do here? Got a crazy show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Hopefully, Trent's going to be a little nicer this week and talk about Raw, but we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It wasn't as bad this week.
All right, okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, that's not us, man. That's not us. Let me introduce the guy that I call the best in the world, Trent Williams. He is a wrestling fan joining me, another wrestling fan on the Wrestling Fans Podcast, sponsored by StreamUp.com. Stream all of your entertainment needs from the MLB regular season to the NBA playoffs. Stream everything at StreamUp.com, hashtag entertainment. And with that, we would not have this show if it were not for the interesting views of wrestling fans. So let's stop stalling, man. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get into the show. Now, Trent.
Yes.
Everyone, and if you're not a wrestling fan, I don't know why you didn't, but everyone watched NXT TakeOver The End. You know, wasn't the end.
No.
How did you feel about the show overall, man?
I felt it was one of the weaker takeovers. I mean, it had its highlights here and there, but overall, it was, nothing special.
Now, keep in mind, this was not a O2 London. This was not a Brooklyn. This was not a Dallas. This was a Full Sail takeover.
Right.
I remember when Sasha and Bayley had their 2 out of 3 falls match. Match was awesome, but it's Full Sail. Honestly, it reminded me of when TNA used to do Wednesday pay-per-views.
Yeah.
They were in the Impact Zone. The plot, the story of the show unfolds, entrances, pops from the crowd. It's exciting.
Yep.
But it still is in the realm of a studio,
Yeah. Yeah, the crowd's always really into it, but the show itself, the match just didn't really, live up to other takeovers, I feel.
Well, let's start from the top, man. This time, I didn't see Triple H come out, do his little speech.
Yeah.
And, that could be because we're at Full Sail, but we get Ty Dillinger, 10 against Manny Andrade, Andrade Cien Almos, La Sombra, whatever you want to say, coming out looking like a Magic Mike copycat, right?
Yep.
I was watching this on Periscope for a little while I was trying to figure out some stuff with my laptop, and a lot of people were saying that the match was pretty quick. It was a good match. It was a solid match, but it was pretty quick. What did you feel about that?
Yeah, it was a very quick match, and it was funny because you would think with Andrade making his debut, the crowd would be into him, but he seemed like a afterthought because this crowd was way into Ty Dillinger. He was the fan favorite on this one. The match itself, it did what it needed to. It showed off some of Andrade's pretty highlight move. The finish felt like it came a little bit out of nowhere as he hit him with some kind of running crotch to the face in the corner.
Which a lot of people were saying is Sasha Banks' moves, but...
Yeah, well, I didn't like it anyway. And I think he needs to find a new finisher there. But other than that, it was all right.
All right. And like I said, I just thought it was a little bit too quick. This was his debut. Yes, he's been in house shows probably all over the country, but just would have loved to have seen more. But that was the kickoff match, even though I believe there was a pre-show.
Yeah, well, there wasn't no matches on the pre-show, though.
Okay, cool. All right. The next match was the tag team match, correct?
Right.
I clearly think this one stole the show.
I agree.
Dude... let me just say this. I like American Alpha. And oh wow, before I even go into anything else, Trent batted 1,000. Let's be honest here. Trent batted 1,000. Trent was the person that predicted that the Revival would pick up the win here and become the two-time NXT Tag Team Champions. I really like American Alpha, like I was saying. I thought this match was just a very good, a lot of tag team maneuvers, a lot of stereo type moves, things done in tandem. I really would have went crazy if they would have did the Steiner Brothers taunt.
Yeah.
Had Jason Jordan running around the ring, like if he would have, did the, standing over Rick Steiner thing that Scott used to do when they had their tag team. Like that would have been awesome. I think the crowd would have went crazy. But just a very good match, man. Back and forth. Clearly match of the night, very deserving. But the Revival get the win.
Yeah, really good match. These two teams work really well together, and it's kind of sad that they're actually fixed to part ways and be, go into separate feuds because they, not only have they been tearing it up in their matches on TV and on the takeovers, but on the house shows they've really done really good. From all the house show reports I've seen, including the one I went to, they were the match of the night every night.
Oh, were they? Did you get that match at your takeover Columbia?
At my house show, yeah.
Okay, cool. I call it Takeover Columbia, but yeah. Okay, man. And then we get the debut of the Authors of Pain. Now, I have no freaking clue who these guys are or were. Paul Ellering comes out, I guess, to scout them, even though this is the first time I've ever seen Paul Ellering in NXT.
Yeah.
Who are these guys? Do you know?
They're two guys that have been down in the Performance Center for quite a while. Their names are Sonny Densa and Gazim Solmani.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they'll get new names like Killer and Smash or something.
Yeah, because man, those names are not the easiest to pronounce.
Yeah, were they on Breaking Ground or did they come out of nowhere? Like, how did you?
Out of nowhere.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, they're I'm guessing by the names they're Indian or some kind of Middle Eastern, which if you watch Breaking Ground, it seems like they got a good many of those guys down there. They got one guy, his name's Dupree. That's his real name. I forgot what they calling him now, but he's like one of the big parts of Breaking Ground.
Okay, I think I've seen 1 or 2 episodes with him on it, eating Indian food or something like that.
Yeah.
And with the emergence or the arrival of Paul Ellering, we can assume that he's going to be the mouthpiece here, the mentor. These dudes look like, huge monsters, man. I don't know what they can do in the ring. I don't know if they can move in the ring. But in NXT, you'll get your shine either way. So we'll see what we'll get from these guys.
Right. And, it's pretty fitting that Paul Ellering's with a monster team like this since he was with LOD for all those years.
Yeah, Trent, I don't think we're going to see Paul Ellering with a team like London and Kendrick.
No.
Okay, so he's picking his shots. He's like Phil Jackson. He wants monsters. He's going to get monsters.
Right. And another thing that I'm curious about with Paul Ellering there is she made her debut a couple of weeks ago in it was a one-off. His daughter, Rachel Ellering.
Right.
So I wonder if we'll be seeing her more often with him in there. Maybe she could be her manager too.
Was she called Rachel?
I think she was.
Okay. I remember when she was on there. Did she go up against Alexa Bliss?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think that was the first time Alexa did the fake chokeslam move.
Yeah.
Okay. Next match, man. Shinsuke and Aries, I thought it was I thought Aries came over somewhat as a heel, just trying to defeat the wave that Shinsuke has. Obviously, Shinsuke picks up the win here. Not the greatest match, but a solid match.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much everything we predicted to be a good match, but nowhere near what Nakamura Zayn was.
All right. Now for the ladies. For the women's match, I'm gonna say, man, I was shocked here, dude. I was shocked. Like I really thought Nia would pick up the win, just because I didn't think she was going 2 straight pay-per-views, not consecutively, but 2 straight pay-per-views losing. And like we spoke about before, maybe at Brooklyn they could have a triple threat match, but with her losing, you really didn't sense that. You really didn't get that. Yes, Bayley was in the backstage wishing Asuka luck. Bayley's still there. I think Bayley even tweeted like, "Let's go Asuka" or something like that. But maybe in the next couple of weeks we might get something towards a triple threat match. Yeah. But to have her lose, and to not have her get choked out. She got knocked out.
Which I called the knockout. I said I thought it would be like a knockout where she knocks her out and the referee stops the match. I didn't think it would be knock her out just so she could pin her.
Right. Literally, man, she got the pinfall here, which was very surprising. Like I said, I thought choking Nia Jax out was her kryptonite, and Asuka, all of 5 feet Asuka, knock down the giant, chop down the tree.
Yeah. I think I like this match better than I did the Bailey and Nia match.
Yeah, I'll definitely agree with you on that one. I don't think they knew where they were going with Nia and Bailey, because you had Bailey, just a phenomenal superstar who everybody loves, and you didn't want to see Nia Jax crush her.
Right.
But Bailey was never going to belly to Bailey her.
Nope.
It's not like Bailey's going to pick up a steel chair.
No.
And I don't think Bailey even had a submission move yet, or on display. So that was the most logical option.
Right.
Remember, it did take like 5 minutes for her to do it.
Yep.
Let's be honest. So there was a somewhat of an intrigue as to how she was going to do it, how she was going to win. But Asuka chopped down the tree, man. That's something Bailey can't say that she did.
Yep. And another thing, Nia Jax, it's amazing from December, which was when it was Bailey and Nia, to now how much she's improved.
Let me ask you this, man. I think I was watching Breaking Ground, and this may be way early. It was back when they had Devin still on the show.
Right.
And I think it was the episode they cut Devin because she was injury prone or something like that.
Yeah.
Like Nia Jax is the ultimate base, right? She's the biggest girl there, not being disrespectful. She's the tallest, obviously the most strongest. So she's in the performance center working with these girls all the time, man. I would hope that she would just feel natural in the ring, because she's probably having to deal with all these girls all the time.
Right.
I didn't really see it as a shock here that she lost. Well, I did see it as a shock that she lost, but I didn't really feel that she was out of place anywhere.
No. And I think she's only been in there, like a year, actually wrestling?
True.
That's really good for just a year, how far she's come.
Oh yeah. And we'll see if she dominates the next 6 months. It'll be very interesting to see if she actually makes it to the WWE roster. And I'll say this: I would love to see the Awesome Kong, Gail Kim saga play out in the WWE on the main roster. Yeah, I do think if they don't sexy up Nia Jax, that people are going to be cruel, whether it's on the main roster, in the promos that they do, or online. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I don't have a problem with it, because I can see past that, and you see a different type of athlete, right, especially when she's moving around. That big giant stud stationary movement sucks. Let's just be honest. But when she's moving around and she can show her athleticism, you totally forget about her size, weight, whatever you want to say. Right. And she's phenomenal, dude.
Yeah. And I'm sure, she didn't get as big as she is overnight. So I'm sure she's learned to try to deal with those harsh and cruel things that people say, because I'm sure she's got it pretty much all her life.
But dude, do you remember when Awesome Kong, I think her name was Harma? Yeah. Like they made jokes, and this WWE, man, whether it's a new era or not, they made fart jokes with Natty. They made fat joke, like piggy jokes with Mickey James.
Oh, that really got under my skin there.
Let's be honest. Give it a year when she, if she does make it up to the main roster, give it a year when she's not champion and she's, maybe working her way back up, maybe even on Main Event or on SmackDown, which of the lesser two brands or something. And I hope this never happens. But let's just be honest. Nikki Bella, Alicia Fox, they may even have Dana Brooke and Emma say something about her weight. Yeah. You don't need that, man. You just don't need it.
I'm hoping that we have evolved the women's division over that kind of stuff. Now that this newer era of the women's division have started, we've got past all that.
I hope so.
But with Kevin Dunn as the producer, how he is. He don't like, if they're not visually appealing it, something, he's gonna, say something and she'll end up being the butt of jokes.
Right. Now let's hope the best for Nia Jax.
Yep.
It's that time, man. It's that time that we all said would come. I was definitely wrong about Bobby Roode. I was definitely wrong. I thought, especially when you saw on social media that he was going to be there. Right. People are tweeting his pictures and stuff. It's like, okay, he's there. Obviously, he's not going to sit in the crowd this time like a dork. Nope. He should be on the show. What do we get, though?
We get him walking backstage in the Commissioner General Manager Regal's office.
With coffee.
Yeah.
That's it. And we get our match. We get Finn Balor, the Demon, less makeup than I've ever seen, going up against the monster, Samoa Joe. Thought it was a very good match. Obviously, you needed a spot from the top of the cage or darn near from the top of the cage, and you got that with the muscle buster to end it, and the show goes off the air.
Yeah, being that this was supposed to be their final blow off and the feud they've had and as intense as their brawls have been, I think this needed a little bit more for me. Maybe even blood if they could have done it at least once, for one time. This needed it. I don't know, it just kind of felt a little flat to me.
Isn't it funny that we got blood at Dallas, right?
Yeah.
And that was by accident. Now you are in a cage match where blood is darn near expected and we get no blood.
Yep.
I thought it was about time that this ended, and every single opportunity that Finn Balor went up against Samoa Joe, he got destroyed. He got dominated. Yep. Samoa Joe said, yeah, he survived every man, whatever. Enough was enough, man.
Yep. I'm glad to see him going different ways.
Right. And those different ways could be ways converging on the King of Strong style.
Yep.
We might get Nakamura and Joe. We might get Nakamura and Finn Balor.
We could.
We will see. We will see.
Either way, both of them should be pretty good matches.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. And it's funny though, as much of a observer, let's say that, as much of an observer as I am of Finn Balor, he's been in the main event for NXT for darn near a year, right?
Yeah.
I think that speaks to his credibility, his resilience. But I was just paying attention that he has been in the main event for darn near a year. These losses don't necessarily hurt that much, but he is NXT's man. It's very interesting to see if he goes up or if Samoa Joe goes up, or as we transition to Raw, if the brand split accepts them both, because at this point, like I said, he was there for a year, man. I'm thinking you at least want to get him and Shinsuke. This is Finn Balor that I'm talking about. You may want to get him and Shinsuke, but you might want to get him and Shinsuke on the main roster. Yeah. Or you definitely want to get it at Brooklyn. You definitely want to get it at whatever their next outside of Full Sail takeover would be, Yep. But we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
Okay, so as we transition to Raw, scale of 1 to 10, where did you give Raw this week?
About a 6, I guess.
All right. It was a different show. It was a very different show.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't all that good either. It was just there.
All right, so let's go over the highlights, I guess. We start the show off with 6 guys on a ladder. First time I've ever seen that in my life.
Yeah.
So immediately that was something different. Teddy Long is back, holla holla, dollar dollar. I don't know why that rhymes, but possibly getting a new SmackDown general manager. Maybe he's applying for the job. This is what I liked about the show, because remember last week your biggest gripe was, hey, why are they mentioning the brand split, brand extension, whatever you want to say, without having people set as general manager for the show, right?
Right.
So now maybe you can play with the idea of people applying for the general manager position. We might get people power next week.
Yeah. Or Vicky.
Or Vicky. Maven might come back.
Yep.
The anonymous GM, the freaking laptop might make an appearance. So this does give you something to go along with the whole brand extension, brand split storyline, because I'm pretty sure it'll keep being mentioned for the upcoming weeks, right?
Yeah.
And SmackDown will go live July 19th.
Yep.
So we got a little countdown there.
Yep.
Now, I watched the show, but I didn't watch it on Hulu, so got a couple highlights from Hulu. Obviously, wherever Raw emanated from this week was not a city.
No.
I don't think Seth Rollins was on the show.
Nope, him or Reigns wasn't.
And Reigns was not on the show. They did have 2 montages.
Right.
2 separate montages.
Yep.
And if I bought a ticket to the show, I would feel a little, come on, pimp. Really?
Yeah, I would.
I think Reigns did a dark match after the show.
Oh, okay.
But come on, man. Now, so skipping through that, we finally get a better promo or a back and forth like we always do when someone's going up against John Cena. You got John Cena versus the Club. Trent, help me out with this. Is it a one-on-one match at the pay-per-view?
Yep.
Okay. I heard them say something about why is it, the Club versus John Cena or something like that. I don't know. That kind of threw me off.
He said, why did he need the Club to help him beat up Cena? I think's what it was.
Okay. All right. Well, you get the typical John Cena constructed segment. Mm-hmm. John Cena says, hey, you want to fight me? Come out and fight me. The guy says, nah, I'm going to fight you at the pay-per-view, but I'm going to tell you why you suck. John Cena's like, why do I suck? The guy says, well, you can't wrestle. I can wrestle better than you. But every time someone faces you, they get knocked down and it sucks. even though I'm better than you. John Cena says, oh, how original. And then he buries the guy again. So you've seen this 1,000 times. I didn't think it was anything new. I think AJ Styles got flustered a couple times when he was saying what he needed to say.
Yeah.
It's typical stuff, man. It was, it's the typical John Cena back and forth.
Right. Yeah, I like the promo not for what they said, but how they said it and the intensity they said it. I thought AJ was really good on the mic, which, is always his strongest thing. But I thought he done pretty good. And I think he stood toe-to-toe with Cena on the microphone. So that's pretty good.
Right. It was like you've seen it all before. And this, to me, was a common trend throughout the night. Now, on the show, we got 3 separate matches from the 3 guys that were in the ring at the beginning of the show.
Right.
You got Cesaro taking on Chris Jericho. Mm-hmm. Thought that was a very good match.
Yep.
You got Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens.
Another good match.
I don't think anything will ever top their Royal Rumble match.
No.
That's what I keep thinking of every time they're in the ring together. And you got ADR versus Sami Zayn.
Yep.
Now, I can't say that was a good or great match. I think for some reason they're really trying to make Sami Zayn like the weakest guy.
Yeah, they are. Because he's supposed to be the underdog.
Yeah, I don't know. At some point, either his promo is going to have to speak louder than his underdog gimmick,
right,
or people are just going to have to be behind him. And speaking of people...
And another thing, you can make somebody an underdog, but if they keep losing too much, eventually people just going to kind of forget about them.
That's very, very true, man. That's very true. And to me, he didn't have the backing of the people. But as I say that, this was not in a city, man. I was thinking to myself while watching Raw that Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose, when they're in there, Chris Jericho and Cesaro, when they're in there, they have to be talking to themselves like, man, let's get the heck out of here, man.
Yeah.
They're outside of stupid idiot chants. I think John Cena had to provoke them into saying, let's go, Cena, AJ, stop, sleepy crowd, man. It was a very sleepy crowd.
Yeah, but the only one that was happy to be there was Jack Swagger. Now it's because it was his hometown.
Yeah, and I've been to Oklahoma City before. Very nice city. Maybe since the Thunder lost, they're just in chill mode for the rest of the summer. I don't know. But serve these people Red Bull or Monster Energy drinks the next time you go. Give them free shirts or something. But come on, crowd. You can do a little bit better. And this is what I expect from crowds now, man. And I know sometimes you can get a crowd that's a quote-unquote smart crowd.
Right.
But, dude, if you're paying your tickets, man, I'm screaming my head off, man.
Yeah. Well, when they come here to Greenville, that's not the best crowd either.
True, I can understand.
I had a run of not getting good shows either.
And that's what I'm saying too. I don't know if it was because they realized they were getting jerked by not seeing Seth and Roman. And I mean, okay, Seth, Shane wasn't even there. It's like, come on, man. You weren't really running a skeleton crew, but they held back a little bit, Right. So out of those 3 matches, get your average Raw. You get montages, you get the back and forth with Cena, but then you get the ladies.
Oh, boy.
Charlotte and Daniel Brooke.
Yep.
Come out, and immediately Charlotte is speaking on what happened with Rick.
Yeah.
She starts to backtrack and say this, and I'm sorry, this. Trent, this was, to me, just a horrible segment. Not because of the backtracking at the beginning.
Oh, that was a problem I had.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, because if you're a heel, you're supposed to believe in your mind that you're right, no matter what anybody else says. So you shouldn't supposed to be backtracking on what you said.
I couldn't have said it better, man. And I slid past it. I'm like, okay, she is Ric Flair's daughter. It's not like this was a business relationship. It's not like Rick was her agent. He's her dad. So I gave her a pass on that, even though it sucked. Okay. Then Natty and Becky Lynch come out.
Yep.
Their back and forth was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely loved Becky Lynch's accent.
Oh, yeah.
And some of the terms that she was using. Half of what she said, I don't know what she said.
Oh, you can't go wrong with Becky.
With the good hair?
Yep. Well, it was out of control that night. My God, stuff was everywhere.
So Becky with the good hair and Natty are out there conversing, basically trying to make Daniel Brooke turn on Charlotte.
Yeah.
Very interesting dynamic there. Hopefully it could have worked. Maybe
they're doing it so soon too.
Maybe if the crowd was into it, you would have had a little build up there. But Daniel Brooke is sliding. And I just paused it for a second, and I just knew things were going to go incredibly wrong. Here's what went wrong so we can recap the botch of this segment, okay? She nails Natty.
Right.
Fine. That's fine. But then Natty and Becky with the good hair turn into dominoes.
Yeah.
Becky's falling over Natty. Daniel Brooke is trying to fight them with 15-inch heels on.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks like a cluster.
Well, I blame that trip. I think Natalya tripped Becky by accident. I think she grabbed her leg when she went down, and they caused her to fall over.
And then Charlotte applies like a chicken wing, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen Charlotte do a chicken wing before. It just looked very awkward. I mean, the amount of weave in that segment was over the top. We should start having a weave meter now. And maybe that has something to do with it, but it was a bad segment. It started with the backtracking, and then it just went downhill from there.
And then Daniel Brooke had some very odd facial expressions when she was teasing going toward Becky and Natalya.
Did you see her stare up at the lights?
Yeah.
I don't know. She had so much bronze on, I thought she was Lisa Simpson. But I didn't know what the heck was going on or where this would go. Yes, it was very soon that they would try to, make Daniel Brooke turn on Charlotte.
Yeah.
But it was something to laugh at, man. It was so bad. It was something to laugh at.
Yeah, and I don't think we're getting this Sasha thing that we wanted. I feel like they would have already started the build for that by now.
Sasha at Brooklyn?
Yeah. No, Sasha and Charlotte at SummerSlam.
Well, look at it this way, man. We both would like to see Sasha as champion. We would like to see a boss reign.
I'd like to see Sasha on Raw.
Yeah. At minimum, see Sasha on Raw. Yes, I will definitely agree with
Why is Natty in this picture? Why is it not Sasha and Becky? Why do we have to keep Natalya and everything?
We talked about this, man. Coming off of Extreme Rules, we didn't know if they were going to do a 180 or a clean slate with Bayley or Sasha.
Right. This
is the most predictable, just to continue with Natty in the picture now that you have a tag team of Daniel Brooke and Charlotte. It still keeps Becky Lynch busy since Emma's out.
Yeah.
And look at it this way. Maybe if you had Emma still in the mix, you might have had Sasha.
Yeah.
Now that you don't, it's only 2 heels and 2 faces.
Yeah, and I think from what I'm reading, it looks like they might even be putting Dana Brooke in front of Sasha for a title shot.
That's usually where these alliances go, right? You get 2 competitors, 2 athletes teaming up together. Eventually, one turns on the other because they want what the other has.
Right.
I just go back to the fact that we both want Sasha as champion. If we gotta wait till Survivor Series, if we have to wait till the Royal Rumble, if that may be the case.
Yep.
But in the meantime, at least make the Divas. The women's, the women's division. Yeah. Make it a little interesting. Keep our eyes peeled for better finishes, better segments, better promos, better fights, no cat fights.
Yeah.
Just do a little better job there, man. And by all means, practice, man. Jeez. Practice this stuff. She fell over Natty, and I'm like, okay, what the heck is going on here? And then she's like, you see Charlotte instantly slide off her heel.
Yeah.
Dana is still trying to maneuver with heels taller than the Kiss guitarist.
And it was funny because when she was like going over towards Natalya and Becky, you could see she was like kind of moving real slow, and I think that's the heels too.
Exactly. It was bad. It was bad. If I was in attendance, or if anyone was in attendance and is listening to this show, tweet us any video or any information that you can gain from seeing Daniel Brooke walk down the ramp. Because I think, or I bet you, that was a tremendous sight to see. Predicting if she was going to fall over, how steady she was, if she was sure of herself, if she was confident.
Yep.
So, Daniel Brooke. With that said, man, let's go to the main event.
All right.
The main event. You get the New Day versus the Club.
Yep.
Before the match starts, if the match starts, I don't know, Xavier gets hit with the Styles Clash like an awesome Styles Clash. Boom, right on the canvas. Thought that was awesome. Thought it was crazy.
Yeah. Now at least we don't have to worry about complaining about them not using the Styles Clash because he's busting it out every week now.
Yeah. Well, the phenomenal forearm is going to be the finisher, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and then maybe the secondary calf killer could,
Yep.
be the submission. And so we get a a 3-on-2
Yep.
match with the Club versus Big E and Kofi Kingston. Now, didn't have a problem with the match. Thought the match was good. The ending is what I had a problem. Okay, AJ picks up the win with a phenomenal forearm to Kofi, and they start attacking New Day. They beat the crap out of New Day until John Cena, aka Hulk Hogan, comes down and beelines straight for the ring towards AJ Styles. Now, the Club has went through an enduring, brutal match, and they may be tired.
Yeah.
But for Hulk Hogan, John Cena to come down to the ring and with one punch, one glancing, grazing punch to Anderson, he goes down.
Yep.
To one glancing blow, to one grazing punch, Gallows goes down.
Yep.
And he does the same. I think he does the same thing to AJ. It reminded me of that when they used to do that all the time. And then obviously, the Club gets the upper hand, and then New Day saves them, and everyone leaves with a smile.
Yep.
To have that in the show when you've done that a million times over, you're obviously saving John Cena like you're saving Seth Rollins.
Right.
Just thought you could have ended the show better. But once again, Oklahoma City must suck.
Yeah.
Because they jerked them, man. They robbed you of a good show. Definitely robbed you of a good show.
Yeah.
As we look forward, who do you think will pick up the win with AJ and John Cena?
Probably Cena, because I don't see him losing his first big match back.
And you see AJ Styles going 0 for 3? Whew, wow, 0 for 4?
I wouldn't doubt it, I guess.
Listen, money is the root of all evil, I guess. But to lose 4 straight times, I don't know. I'm with you. I think John Cena will beat him, but I would hope you would get AJ Styles picking up the win here, similar to Kevin Owens, maybe.
Yeah, that's the best scenario we could hope for.
All right, and you can.
We know by the end of the feud, John Cena's going to come out on top.
Bingo. Oh, yeah. But at least get AJ Styles to come out with the first victory, the first bullet.
Yeah.
That was a pun, but so we'll see. We have one more full week before the pay-per-view, right?
Yep.
And the pay-per-view is on Father's Day, correct?
I think so.
Okay. All right, cool. You getting your dad anything for Father's Day?
No, I doubt it.
Okay. Your presence is the Father's Day gift?
Yep.
I got you. Cool. Just doing some random stuff for my dad, but I did. I think I told you I wanted to go out to Vegas for Money in the Bank, right?
Yeah.
Those tickets are sky high.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I think when I was getting in line to get tickets virtually,
yeah,
the cheapest ticket was like $225.
Dang.
All of the like $75, $125 tickets, those were gone.
Yeah, I think I'll just sit at home and watch it on the couch.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. So we are done with Raw.
Yep.
I'm missing anything from Raw?
Oh, we got the Shining Stars promo.
Oh yeah. Fill me in on what I missed.
I just know we had a Shining Stars promo. I don't even remember what it was, but those poor guys, my gosh, that gimmick dead on arrival.
Well, I do like the what is the ring? Is there Puerto Rico or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that. I forgot their finish already, or their finisher already.
Yeah.
At this point, if you can't talk or you're just not a dominant tag team, it's going to be hard for you to get over with New Day reigning as champs, Yep.
I mean, it's pretty bad because they had all these vignettes, and then they finally have a match, and then after that one match, they go back to doing what they was doing before the match with the vignette.
Wait. Oh crap! I thought you meant they had a promo, like a in-ring. They went to back to a vignette.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe they had to explain Puerto Rico or something.
Well, darn, I think they've explained it enough in the vignettes before they debuted.
Oh man! Wow, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
poor Cologne brothers.
Yeah.
They're cousins. I think they're cousins.
Well, with that sad news, can we transition to some other sad news?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to.
If I had some It's So Hard to Say Goodbye music, I'd play it right here.
Yeah. Or the theme from the Hulk, when he's walking away.
Yeah. Let's stop laughing. Let me stop laughing and compose myself. This week saw the tragic end to the life of the greatest boxer that ever lived, right?
Yeah.
At one point in time, probably the most recognizable figure, obviously obviously in American sports and top 10 celebrity in the world.
Right.
A champion for civil rights, just a tremendous athlete, the prettiest man that ever lived, the baddest man that ever lived, Muhammad Ali.
Yep. The guy that his interview and promo style was what led to a lot of the older wrestlers, you know, they picked up a lot of what he got, you know, from the Billy Grahams to the Dusty Rhodes and the Hulk Hogans, and from there on, you know. Yeah,
he was definitely a trendsetter with what he said. He was rap before rap, honestly.
Yeah.
With all his rhymes and poems and things that he would say. Anytime that I see anyone, especially a fighter, like a real fighter, try to do promo things or you know, come up with different types of creative sayings and, you know, maybe make a catchphrase or something, I think of Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And I know he had dealt with Parkinson's for a while, and even like the week prior to his passing, you saw little stories about, hey, he's being checked into a hospital.
Right.
I think everyone was kind of aware that something might go down, but still, you know, it doesn't appease the shock and the blow of hearing that he's gone, you know?
Yeah.
One more thing on Muhammad Ali that I like to mention. Have you ever seen the movie When We Were King?
No.
If you're a Muhammad Ali fan or, you know, just intrigued with the story, it was the documentary, or let's say a recap of the fight with him and George Foreman in Zaire. Oh, it was the Rumble in the Jungle. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was the Rumble in the Jungle. And like I said, I don't think it was a documentary, but it was like a recap. And they put they added a soundtrack to it and everything like that.
Oh, cool.
And they showed 1 million of his interviews while he was down there, all the promotional things that he did for the fight, and George Foreman as well. You know, they show him train and everything like that. So I definitely think you should watch When We Were Kings. But one of the most funniest parts about the movie in one of the interviews that he was given, he's talking to the kids and he says something about don't eat candy, you know, always brush your teeth, and he puts his finger in his mouth. He says, I have cavities right here. It was hilarious. That was like one of the things I like. For some reason I cannot get out of my head from that movie. But like I said, When We Were Kings, very great soundtrack, and just a very good documentary type of movie. Okay, now we go from one fighter to another fighter in almost a different type of sport. Kimbo Slice.
Yeah.
At this point, everyone should know Kimbo Slice, I think. I mean, in more ways than one. You probably know Kimbo Slice or have heard of Kimbo Slice's name from being in the UFC, being in Bellator, being in Elite XC.
Yep.
But some people obviously know of Kimbo Slice, dude, back from YouTube when people watched people fight each other on YouTube.
Right.
He was a street fighter. Just literally a street fighter. You couldn't say he was a criminal because the fights were consensual.
Right.
And, you know, he was getting money off the Trent. Do you remember when, like, bum fights and crackheads out of control was a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was at the cusp of this. People just fighting, being taped, and they sell a DVD of a VHS or put it on YouTube. So from that to becoming a larger than life name, Kimbo Slice was the man, dude.
Oh, yeah. This one for me, I think I was more bummed about this one than I was Ali. Personally, because Ali was a little bit, you know, his prime, I guess you'd say, was before my time.
Okay.
You know, and Kimbo, you know, while I don't watch, you know, Ultimate Fighting that much, I knew Kimbo. And I watched the documentary that Spike TV did right before his last Bellator fight with Dada 5000. Ain't that who it is? Is it 5000?
Yeah.
And you know, just showing the person that he is when he's not fighting. And I mean, the guy that, you know, you would never imagine. I mean, he's like a teddy bear, how nice he is. And a piece of trivia, I don't know if you knew this, Kimbo, before he started actually fighting, he was a bodyguard for the adult film site Reality King.
Yeah.
So when they would go to clubs and stuff like that, he would be their bodyguard. Yeah,
that was the guy that really put him on, and I can't say made him marketable, but, you know, showed him that there was a way to make money off this. Like in his first couple of fights, not street fights, they were his team. And you know, you can clearly see on the t-shirts Reality Kings. Shout out to Reality Kings if you Yeah, I mean, he was homeless, man. He
Yeah.
was homeless. I think there was like a hurricane or something, and he wound up homeless. And he had to do, stints as a bodyguard, sleeping out of his car to make ends meet or just to, live. There was a ESPN, maybe a E60 or something like that said, he didn't have a pot to piss in, man. So to shower, he would go to the beach.
Yeah.
And, get it in that way, man. And he survived. It's crazy to see where he came from to not only being an MMA fighter, but, there was a path that he took also. Yes, he got on to Elite XC, but obviously anything outside of the UFC is like anything outside of WWE. It's like ROH, it's like Evolve, it's like New Japan. So he had to, fight or struggle or promote to even get on the UFC roster. And they put him in the Ultimate Fighter house, or they put him on the show.
Yeah.
They had people dogging him, trashing him, and everything like that. And he didn't win, but he was able to actually get a fight.
Yeah.
Of course, he lost the first fight, but, he had a pretty successful record in the UFC. And then he went to Bellator, and they packaged him as the killer, basically. Like, they gave him fights that were hugely successful and fights that he just ran through people,
Yeah, but there at the end, they were marketing like a gimmick, sort of. If like that match with him and Dada, they were promoting it like it was supposed to be like a sideshow to get like the casual fans in. They would use him to get the casual people in.
True. But you gotta understand though, man, Bellator, that's what Bellator does.
Yeah.
Like Bellator, as I was saying before, is not comparable to the UFC.
Yeah.
I think at one point maybe Strikeforce was somewhat comparable to UFC. UFC just had more money. Bellator and all
He bought Strikeforce out, right?
Right. Because and sorry to belabor on this, but Strikeforce was on Showtime.
Okay.
Strikeforce had Mario Ranallo, I think.
Mario Ranallo.
Yeah. Or yeah. They had him. They had Gus Johnson. They had an awesome announcing crew.
Right.
And they were on Showtime. So you already had that slot. UFC wasn't necessarily big on Fox yet. And so they were still on Spike. They were still doing what they were doing. Strikeforce was very, very good. Bellator is not.
Yeah. Bellator seems more gimmicky. Like, it seems like if Vince Russo ran a MMA promotion, it would be Bellator.
Yeah, like Bellator gets the fighters that are too old to really draw anymore.
Right.
And they'll put them, like Bellator is really TNA.
Yeah.
They'll get the older fighters, and the fights usually sucked as far as the headline fights, because that's really what people knew. They had Rampage, they had Tito, they tried to build up King Mo, but he was already done.
Yeah.
And they had the fight with Kimbo and Ken Shamrock. They hyped the heck out of that fight, and it didn't even last like 60 seconds, I think.
Yeah.
And then you get the Dada match,
which I wish will only last 60 seconds, because them poor guys about to die in the ring.
Yeah, and I think one of them did. Well, like one of them lost his heartbeat for like a minute or something.
Yeah.
So it was Bellator. In the UFC, they took Kimbo for what Kimbo promised he could do, and they put him up against top-notch competition, and he floundered, but then he found success when he got a good team. Dude, in Bellator, you're just looking for a quick knockout to send everybody home drunk and happy,
Yeah.
But yeah, I was very, I was mixed on both. Yes, I was in the era of Muhammad Ali. I'm not. Yeah, but I still didn't get to see Muhammad Ali fight.
Right.
Now Kimbo, I got to see Kimbo fight, and you really saw Kimbo's whole life once he was Kimbo Slice. So,
right.
God bless the dead. Just can't say enough good things about these guys. Kimbo really said he only fought because he didn't like bullies.
Yeah, and to provide for his family.
And yeah, so there you go. Very, very, very good guy. The best hairdo in the business. Yeah. From the very first time I saw Kimbo Slice, I'm like, nah, I would never make that man angry.
No. And it's amazing with his personality and stuff that he didn't. Maybe if he was in better shape, didn't try to get into wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Or at least do a one-off appearance or something.
Yeah, I think he just capitalized on everything a little bit too late. Yeah. Because his first real UFC fight, or his first real Elite XC fight, he was probably in his 30s, late 28s. Like where most fighters are fighting when they're 17, or learning to fight when they're 17. He was just too old. You know?
Yeah.
He was kind of like the boogeyman in WWE. He was just too old. Very talented, but just too old and not fast enough to grasp it at his peak or what should have been his peak.
Right. And funny thing about that Reality Kings thing I was talking about, I was watching one of their videos one time and they just passed by. I'm like, is that Kimbo?
Yeah.
Because at that time I didn't know that he had he was associated with them. I was like, what in the world's Kimbo doing there? So I figured he was just like, like one of their buddies or something. I didn't know he actually worked security.
Yeah.
And then I read where actually once he started fighting, he still worked for him in their office where he would like call people, like his people he knew, to work security for places. He didn't do it himself, but he would call other people he knew to do it.
Oh, okay. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
And there was one girl on Twitter a while back when he had his fight with Dada that was hyping him and was talking about how good of a person he is.
Okay. With
one of the Reality King girls, yeah.
There you go. This guy. Reality Kings. Okay, we're talking about fighters, so we cannot forget to mention the biggest prize fighter that's out today.
Yep.
Mr. Brock Lesnar. Now, Trent, you told me Brock Lesnar's going to UFC. I'm like, no, he's not. You're like, yeah, he is. He's going. I'm like, no, he's not. You like such and such just got banned because he blew it, and I'm like, no, he's not.
You were wrong.
I thought I had factors, right?
Yeah.
I thought this was a Mayweather McGregor fight type rumor. Okay.
Right.
So when I didn't see it posted on UFC, Saturday night, Sunday or Monday, I figured it was a hoax.
Well, here's the thing though, because I went on there and looked. It wasn't one of their main headline stories like that popped up on a picture of him or anything. It was like you had to look down on one of their little headlines.
Well, here's the timeline. Okay.
All right.
I think it was Saturday. They had the fight. They had the actual fight.
UFC 199.
199, yeah. The biggest story that broke like late was that he was coming back for 200, which literally is conceptually a month away.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have an opponent yet.
Right.
Wink, wink. So I'm like, okay, you guys are wasting my time. This is bull. People are breaking it. People are getting banned. Whatever. No opponent yet. It's on ESPN.com. It's on WrestleZone. Nothing. I check UFC. Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, nothing. And then you finally get his opponent. And I think when they said that he has an opponent, that's when everything, sped up and I took it serious.
Right.
And I think one of his rumored opponents was a guy that was transitioning into the WWE anyway, or like professional wrestling anyway. But yeah. Mark Hunt, you got to say it slowly, but Mark Hunt yeah. Well, I try. Mark Hunt is his opponent. Now, this should be a cakewalk, but I just don't understand it, Trent. Obviously, this is a UFC WWE merger, favor for a favor.
Yeah, favor for a favor, I think.
Where do you see this going? Where do you see this benefiting both parties? Do you see it benefiting both parties? I mean, where do you stand on this?
I think, if WWE can get, some top guys or girls for WrestleMania or any other pay-per-view, I think that will benefit WWE to have a legit fighter on one of their cards. For Brock Lesnar, if he loses, it'll be interesting because how do you build him as this monster when he just lost a legit fight?
Right.
If he lost a legit fight, well, how in the world, it'll be very interesting.
We'll see.
Let him do this.
And that's what I had a lot of trouble believing at the outset, that WWE let him do this. Yes, we have not seen this guy since Dallas.
Yeah.
But for him to sign and willingly participate in a fight with less than a month of training or whatever just seemed a little awkward to me. I can't recall the timeline of when the McGregor-Diaz fight pretty much got canceled. If he started right then and this was, a backstage deal,
right,
then that's fine. It makes sense. The UFC 200 card is stacked already, man. He really will be a sideshow, and he might get top billing. But in his first ever fight with the UFC, he lost.
Yeah,
lost to a freaking ankle bar, a foot lock. I don't know. I think it was Frank Mir that caught him with a submission lock or a submission hold that he didn't know what to do with. So he's gonna fight Mark Hunt, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully he wins. Hopefully he just knocks this dude out in 10 seconds, makes his money, and moves on.
Yeah.
But I don't see how that is. I just don't see how that helps him. Like, it gives people a reason to buy a $60 or probably $75 pay-per-view.
Right. Don't give me enough reason.
I'll be at Hooters watching it. But why would you? I think he's just, if he hasn't been training, let's say that. Yeah. If he has not been training, sliding into a fight where you could legitimately get knocked out and then basically burn your career as a badass in the WWE is very, very risky. Yeah. So WWE might not get the payoff. Now, regardless if it's Brock Lesnar, this could be a favor for a favor. Maybe they get Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania for this. Right. I've heard they could, try, or with the popularity that was gained from Paige VanZant, being on Dancing with the Stars, they may try to bring her in. She is a very marketable and, dare I say, camera-friendly athlete, fighter.
Yes, she's definitely friendly to my eyes as well.
So we could see maybe her come in as that favor for a favor. Mm-hmm. But I really just think this all depends on if Brock Lesnar knocks this dude out or wins. If he doesn't win, it's a very big gamble, my friend. It's a very big gamble, because then UFC still makes their money, but the WWE loses.
Right. Well, I mean, they lose on Lesnar, but they would still probably get the buys for WrestleMania if Rousey's there. I think Rousey's probably coming either way, whether Brock wins or loses.
And I'll stand by that. I would definitely hope that's the deal. Yeah. I'm just looking at, let's say, SummerSlam or Survivor Series. If Brock loses, he might as well not come back until WrestleMania. Right. Or that Suplex City promo or reflection that we saw in the Goldberg commercial for 2K17. Yeah. And maybe they can push that. But if he loses here, man, he can't come back and try to throw Roman Reigns around, Suplex City people to death, because you lost, dude. In the arena that is real, he lost. Or if he loses, you can't take somebody seriously in a fake realm. Yeah. That was my take on that, man.
Yeah, and another thing, a lot of people I've been listening to, they said Mark Hunt probably wasn't the best person to go against Lesnar, as far as he hits pretty hard and could probably knock Brock Lesnar out. And with Brock Lesnar scheduled to actually be at SummerSlam, he might not make SummerSlam if he gets knocked out and is not able to pass the stuff to, because they're going to be in New York, so he has to pass the athletic commission thing.
Right. And usually, let's see, there's ways to get not necessarily around that, but if you don't pass, or like if you don't even show up for the test, the quote unquote test, you just get suspended. Right. And you can appeal the suspension and all this other stuff or whatever. Man, I would hope Mark Hunt and Brock Lesnar meet beforehand and figure out how this fight is going to go.
Oh, and Mark Hunt's already come out and said that Brock Lesnar's juiced to the gills.
We already know that. I mean,
he's complaining about this not being a fair fight and stuff.
And I was checking on that. He said, Brock Lesnar's not going to get tested because it's within 30 days, but then like maybe 2 days later, Brock Lesnar does get tested, and I think they'll have his test results next week or something. Yeah. But I mean, we already know that. It's just a very risky chance that Brock Lesnar could get knocked out, and Mark Hunt could be your next star.
Yeah. Yep. But all I want out of this is Paige VanZant to make an appearance at WWE.
Once again, what is Paige VanZant's fighting record?
I don't know. Okay. I did find out she's a strawweight.
What weight class is that? What weight level is that?
I don't know.
Okay, and her, like, is she a knockout artist? Does she finish by submission? What's her fighting style, Trent?
I don't know.
Okay, I mean, I'll give you that, but where is she? Where does she fight out of?
I think California.
Okay, all right, cool. You got one of them. That's cool.
I'm not gonna take the Paige VanZant pop quiz today.
Listen, if you're in love with this girl,
like I said, I'm not a UFC fan. I'm a Paige VanZant fan.
So when you meet Paige VanZant, all you can say is, "Damn, you look good." I respect your fighting talents.
I'll talk about her time on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, okay. So you're just gonna fall back on the fact that she was a good dancer.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, fine. And hopefully the WWE will as well. They might not know her win-loss record either.
Right.
They just know
They
she
probably don't. Vince probably don't, definitely.
So we might see Paige VanZant. We might see Ronda Rousey.
And we might see others, because what I read is they want to do like a women of UFC versus women of WWE match at SummerSlam, or at least an angle.
Oh, wow. That would be something. And something like that would be, okay, that would be a good favor for a favor. Because getting Brock to do UFC 200 and then not getting Rousey until WrestleMania,
right?
Like, that's not a really good payoff. I mean, it will be by the next WrestleMania, but if you get something instant like Brock brings in Paige VanZant, or hey, Brock, met all these people at the UFC, he's challenging our girls versus their girl, something like that. Yeah, that'll be very cool.
Right.
Because here's what I'm trying to figure out, man. I don't think they mentioned Brock Lesnar fighting in the UFC on Raw.
No.
I don't think that they will.
I think that's a mistake.
Definitely think it's a mistake. So if they don't and he wins and they don't even mention, because obviously if he loses, they're not going to mention.
Right.
If he wins, you need to say something. Mm-hmm. But then, there might be people saying, oh, wait, he's a UFC fighter or is he a professional wrestler?
Right.
Like, what's the deal here? So bringing that combination of UFC fighters over, or not even, plugging that, I thought maybe the WWE could sponsor UFC 200, or at least have them say something about SmackDown going live. Something, man.
Yeah.
Something. But we will see. Now, do you have any more lovely words to say to Paige VanZant?
Nah, I think that's about it for tonight.
You sure?
Yeah. Hey, I gotta save it. I mean, if she debuts and she's in WWE, I might have a whole 2 hours to talk about it.
Okay. All right, my friend. Okay.
And I might actually do research to find out what her record and stuff is.
Please. Okay. You did watch her on Dancing with the Stars. What was probably the best looking outfit that she put on?
All of them.
Great answer. Great answer.
She was supposed to be like a bird, sort of. It was pretty hot.
So okay, she was supposed to.
She came in second place.
Yeah, she didn't win. Yeah, she didn't win. She got second place. That's cool. Oh, whoa.
Sympathy vote.
Oh, she lost to the deaf guy?
Yeah, the deaf guy. I mean, yeah.
Oh, that sucks. That's I can't say that sucks, but what was her?
Those sympathy votes, probably.
Was there one performance that you remember where her dancing skills were awesome? Like, what dance did she do phenomenally well?
All of them.
This guy. With that said, man,
he does no wrong.
tweet us, Twitter us, give us feedback. However you say it. You can reach Trent at
MTW3589.
You can reach me at Bangham South, and you can tweet us at our official Twitter page at TWF_podcast. If you want to hit us up on Facebook, you can do that at facebook.com/TWF podcast. Woo, you're on the ball today. And the email address is
TWFpodcast@gmail.com.
Good, because I forgot it. Okay, and with that said, man, Trent's going to go troll Paige VanZant real quick, and I'm going to get out of here.
All righty.